we are live and we've got volume. Salvete omnes, salvete amici. I am Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius, and you're watching the Roman Twitch channel, brought to you by Nova Roma. It's fantastic to be back playing the Republic of Rome board game broadcast for 2022. This is session 3. We've had a break over the last couple of weeks, but now we are back. We are kicking off tonight with the combat phase of turn 2. I'm really excited. They're going to face off on the Syrian war with the commander Junius of the Blue faction by Numerus Aurelius Ingeniarius as the commander. So I'm definitely looking forward to that tonight and the rest of our session and continuing our game. So they had some really great draws from the draw pile last forum phase. We'll see if they can continue that good luck in this forum phase. So let's not delay any further. Let's go to our transition screen. I'll get our senators, make sure they're on board, and then we'll back to our live virtual tabletop, and we'll be able to play the game. So stand by. We'll be just a minute. Don't go away. One. All right, we are now live, and I think we can see all of our senators down the bottom of the screen. And let's do our usual sound check that we like to do. Can I have all my senators give a wave and go, Salvete?
Salvete.
Yeah, good. Lots of lovely clipping happening in the audio bar. That's what I like to see. Brilliant. Yeah. As we said, we are starting off with the combat phase tonight. First of all, folks. So there's no reason why we can't delay. Let's zoom in on our field here and have a bit of a gander, have a bit of a squiz. Syrian war, strength of 6, and they've certainly come marching to bear. Interestingly enough, the Senate decided to leave their veteran legion behind, I think, to give them some reward for doing a good job. But hopefully they won't regret that decision. But look, they've got a pretty strong force there. I see the minimum fleet strength is 2, and they've brought 4 along for the ride. That's a bit of an insurance payment in case they can't get that victory that they need. But if they don't, it's pretty unlucky. So, Commander, sound off. Are you ready, Commander?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Would you be liking to do a physical roll, or are you going to use the clicker roll today?
I shall try the clicker.
Yeah, certainly.
What numbers do we need?
We can bring up our combat calculator and have a look again if you like, if somebody wanted to punch that in. But essentially, you want to roll nice and high and not roll a 16 or a 15, really.
And how many dice was it again? 2.
So we're rolling 3d6.
All right.
3d6, and then we're going to add the commander's rating. Is that correct? But we can essentially let's all put this into the combat calculator because it makes things easy for us, right? So somebody's already done it. It's good. So we've got the military rating of 1 for the commander, the 16 legions for the land battle. So obviously we're not counting the fleets, obviously, for that one. He does not nullify the disaster or standoffs number, so we are facing those. So the war strength of the enemy is 6 that we have there, which is good, and those disaster standoff numbers are 16 and 15. We have no leader, which is also good news, and subsequently doesn't give us any additional DNS. And so there is our dice roll modifier 11. So we're going to, so if I understand this correctly, we're going to roll our 3d6 and add 11. Does everybody else agree with that?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So I'm now going to change my view up to the combat results table up here, where some senators are already waiting eagerly. All right. So Commander, when you are ready, please go ahead and roll the dice, and let's see how we go.
Just take a quick step back for a second and
ask
the Pontifex Maximus if they have a prayer to offer for
I don't think we've got one.
We do not
have
have
a Pontifex
Oh, we
Maximus.
don't? Oh, geez, okay. Look,
the Senate
it's
barred the position.
It's been so long, guys, I forgot. So that's an
I can't see
all right,
that.
so I'll just roll my 3d6 now.
What's happened?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
All right. We get, oh, wow, that's a pretty good roll, I think. Now, that's not a danger number. It's not a danger noodle number.
Wow.
So
that would have been funny if it was like a 16. Oh, that's a good number. Oh, crap.
And we've definitely done that before in our sessions. So I'm pretty sure 17 plus 11 is well and truly a victory. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah,
28
victory massacre. You've broken him in half.
I feel
So
sorry for
we,
the Syrians.
I think
We,
that's
we-
it's a genocide, right? If you call
yeah.
that hot.
So let me bring
Definitely
up
going to need some
my.
sort of stabilization program in
Ooh,
Syria.
wow.
So, folks, let's go through the checklist nice and slow to make sure that we do everything correct and get the victory done by the books. So, congratulations on another victory there. So, well done to the commander. First of all, because it was a victory, we get to lower the unrest level by 1. So, if somebody would like to do that for me, please.
I'll do that.
Okay, good. We are going from 4 to 3. Fantastic. It wasn't a sea battle, so we don't need to worry about that. And we didn't lose any units, which is fantastic. So we don't need to draw any mortality chits, which the commander will be very pleased about. And there are no losses to sort of calculate. But what we will do is we will work out which of our legions becomes a veteran. So if somebody wants to take the square off and drag the legions into the determine destroy legions fleets box, and then we'll draw the first legion out, and that will determine who our veteran legion is. So would somebody like to try that? If not, I can certainly do that. So
What's
yep,
the
click
ask?
and drag a box, and then pick them all up and drag them into that determine legions box. There we go. Someone's got them, and drop them in there. Perfect. And whoever dropped them in there, if you'd like to draw the first one out, we'll see which one becomes a veteran. Great. So we've got 5, 6, 7. So we've got the 7th Legion. Very good. If somebody wants to draw out the 7th Veteran Allegiance marker from the bag there. Good. And somebody's flipped it over. Well done. Yeah, this will be. You might be able to search. Can you? Can you right click search on the bag and pull out number 7 as well?
Should be possible.
Yeah, have a look. So somebody's searching now. That's good. So there you go. Perfect. And then we can pop the rest back in there. Fantastic. Somebody's trying out their Latin. That's not bad. So we'll leave the that, and then somebody can draw the rest of the legions out of the box and put them back in formation, which is good. Okay, let's carry on with the rest of our checklist here. So we've assigned our veteran legion. Now the commander. So let's look at the Syria card. See what sort of perks it gives us, if any. So it's going to give us 45 talents. So if somebody would like to add 45 talents to the state treasury. Good. Somebody working on that. Yep, good. Excellent. Appius Rufius. I see his cursor over there. All right. And now we get to give the commander some presents. So the strength of the war is 6. And what we get to do here is we get to increase his popularity and influence by half, fractions rounded up, of the unmodified land strength. So half of that unmodified is 3. So Unius, which is for you, Numerius Aurelius, you can increase the popularity and influence of Unius in each respective box by 3. So that will be good. So your popularity thing goes from 0 to 3, and then increase your influence accordingly as well. That's good news. And I think that's everything on the card that we need to be worried about. So if somebody would like to take the distinct pleasure in moving the Syrian war card to the discard pile, that will have a very good feeling attached to it as well. We can hide that age marker somewhere down here for the time being. We'll no doubt need it for a future war potentially. And yep, we've added the spoils of war already to the state treasury. I think we've covered it, folks. Have we forgotten anything? I don't think so. Victories are pretty easy now. And you guys are writing. Hang on, I'll show you a quick way of doing it. Everybody move your hands and drop the legions. So I think if you highlight and press, not what I just pressed. There we go. Press that and pick them up. Press 1, 2, maybe 3. There we go. Now they're all nice and clean. Look at that.
Well, they're not in order.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. Terrible. Okay, so we've now completed the war phase, but we need to note that we did not prosecute the Illyrian War here. So if somebody would like to bring out a war exhaustion, an unprosecuted marker and place that on the Illyrian War, and that will just alert us to go that we couldn't be bothered to work on that war. Very good. So let's just double check on Unius, make sure he got all his goods. So I'm just having a quick peek under here. Yep, influence up to 11, popularity now 3. He's got the veteran allegiance marker. That's fantastic. Our unrest level went down, also really good. and we've got our veteran legion as well. I think we did well there, folks. Fantastic. So now we get to go have a look at our cheat sheet and make sure that we've definitely finished off the combat phase. So we look down at our sheet here. Yep, we've got no provincial wars to worry about at the moment, I don't think, which is good. Let's just double check though. So we don't have Macedonia. So we do need to keep an eye on that when we've got active wars here. So thankfully the Illyrian War only attacks Macedonia, so that's not a problem for us right now, but it
We had
may
a
be in the
province
future.
creation.
Not in the Syrian War, unfortunately, which is unlucky. And we've just checked that we don't have any wars 6 or more. So thankfully, we are not facing war exhaustion at the moment. All right. Who would like to update the central picture? We can go from the combat phase now to the revolution phase. If somebody would like to click that box and advance it, there we go. We are now the revolution turn 2 phase, folks. And we have a squiz at our cheat sheet again. We're not doing any voluntary retirements at this stage, but we do get to do our initial intrigue. So this is a free for
Can I
all
just
at the
ask a
moment.
question before we do?
Please, yeah, please.
Can we colour in Syria on the map?
No.
Not yet, because
No.
we
No.
haven't gained it as a
We
province.
haven't
Okay,
a
gotcha.
province. Yeah,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
when we gain as a province, we can for sure. So as per the cheat sheet there, folks, but that was a good question though. As per the cheat sheet, everybody can freely trade cards from their hand now. So if you'd like to have some discussions with your fellow players about trading cards from your hand to their hand, or vice versa, you may have that conversation now, either publicly or privately. That's up to you. So I'll just give you a moment there. If there are players that are thinking about indicating that they're wanting to do that, is there players thinking about that? Is it happening? Is there anybody that's not doing it? I'm just trying to get an indication here, so we're not waiting for no one, essentially.
I'm ready to go.
All right, good. Appius Rufius, are you planning to do some trades, Appius Rufius?
No, I don't.
Good. Quintus Octavius, are you thinking about having some trade discussions? You're okay, good.
Actually,
Numerous
we got an idea. Everyone put their votes into the yay if they're ready to go to the next phase.
Oh, good idea. I like that. Yeah, put your vote tokens in the yay if you're ready to proceed in this phase. I like it. Great idea. Great initiative. So we see all 6 there, so everybody's ready to proceed. I like that. Well done. That's a great idea. Look at that, utilizing the resource that we've got. And cool. So now we're going to get to start with the HRAO, and then we're going to proceed around clockwise like we normally do, where players will get the opportunity to play statesmen or concessions. And it is this point that victorious returning commanders can talk about disbanding veteran legions should they so choose. And like I said, that's a bit of a precursor, because if they disband their veteran legion, essentially that probably means that they are they're going to be returning their legions to Rome and not declaring themselves as a rebel. Look, technically, I suppose you could reverse that, because that disbandment of legion is only allowed for returning victorious commanders, not rebels. It's a bit of a funny placement, and I've talked to the likes of Alan Richburg about this, about the quirkiness of the placement of this rule, but nonetheless that it's there. But one of the things I guess we want to emphasize that we haven't not necessarily provided in the past is checking for legion loyalty as well. Freely, before you make your decision as a returning commander, you can freely check for legion loyalty for shits and giggles to see how many legions would in fact follow you. You can certainly do
Without
that before
committing
making a
to
decision.
revolution. Yeah.
Correct, without committing. So you don't have to do that, but if you just happen to want to test your legion loyalty while you're there, you may freely do so. And that's certainly something that's been emphasized to me, that I haven't necessarily offered to returning commanders in the past in the games that facilitated. So, and look, that's in there in our cheat sheet. It's just something that we've not necessarily articulated very well. So who is our HRAO, folks?
It's
It is you.
Aurelius.
Yes, it is. Very good. So would you like to play any cards right now
No, sir.
from your hand?
No, sir.
No, you're all right. Okay, let's move around to the Corona Orange faction. Tiberius Cornelius, would you like to play any concessions and or statesmen at this stage?
No.
Not a problem. Okay, up to Marcoetti. Marcoetti, would you like to play any cards at this stage?
No, thank you.
Too easy. Across to Marcus Decimus. Any cards from you, good sir?
Yes, I would like to play.
Go ahead.
I've got
Oh,
it.
concession. Lovely.
I have a concession card.
Excellent. All right, and you're going to sneak that under there. Is that all from you for today?
Yes, thanks.
Good. And down to Numerous Aurelius. Would you like to play any cards today? No. Good head shake. And then finally, Quintus Octavius. Would you like to play any cards today? You're on mute just in case. So you're going to play concession. I can see that anyway. That's cool. Good. So your remaining and loyal Senator Terentius, who doesn't, throw in the towel, is now getting. Now, hang on. Good. This is a good point to bring up too. So we here, interestingly, have the Land Commissioner card, and this is a legal play. So what is the caveat about the Land Commissioner concession that we need to be aware of is that it can only be played, obviously, when there's a land bill in effect. And guess what? We do have one in effect, which is Land Bill 2, which is a recurring cost for our Senate going forwards at 5 talents per year. So very wisely, I think Terentius has now received the Land Commission concession here. So that's a good play, I think, because that's worth it, right? That's what, 3 talents a turn.
Yeah,
There
3
you go.
talents.
Good. And that will take us around the loop. Very good. Now, I guess I didn't offer it directly to you, but I guess I can come here while you're here. But Numerius Aurelius, did you have any interest in disbanding your Loyal Legion for oratory and influence, I think it is? Influence and oratory, that's right, yeah. Noting that to revive them later or reform them will cost you 10 talents in the Senate phase. You personally.
Yeah, I'll disband them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure. So I think does it allow you to flip it? Yeah, there you go. So we can flip your little token. You have a question, Mark Noedia?
I can't see Numerius really.
As in,
I'll refresh. I'm
Okay.
assuming she can't hear me.
Just curious.
yeah, you could. Can you hear him but just not see him?
I can't hear him either.
Oh, okay, so he's going to do a reset for us. But while he's doing that, there you go. Just give
There
us
you
another
are.
sound.
Hello.
There you go. Yeah, you're back. Perfect. Yep.
you
Just
hear
let
me?
each other know if somebody for some reason drops out for somebody on the stream or whatever. Just let each other know so we can do the resets as we need to. But right, so we've now had Junius disband his legion. So what we need to do is what legion was it again? It was 7. So we need to take the 7th legion and take that off the field, and put that. Let's put it to the side. Now, when in its disbanded form, if it is the last, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's the last legion, the Senate can actually recruit it in its basic form, which will then lose the veteran status and subsequently the legion loyalty. Does that sound correct to people?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Can you get the band back together any other way? Can Numerius reform the Legion?
Yeah. So he can reform it at his leisure during the Senate phase at a cost of 10 talents to his personal treasury. He can reform that legion. So in other words, he's holding it ransom. And so if the Senate's desperate for another legion, they can potentially try and call on Numerius Aurelius to re-raise that loyal legion. However, the Senate still has the option to raise that as a basic legion during the Senate phase if it's essentially the last one left. So if you've got 4 legions left in your pile and you want to raise all 4, then you can do so, and then I think that destroys the Legion Allegiance status. So it's if somebody wants to look through the rules while we continue on and verify that, but I think that's the way to go. So really, I think actually what happens here is that it actually goes into we'll put that back in the Legion bag for drawing is essentially what happens. We'll just keep note of that the 7th is, I don't know whether that was a good choice, but the 7th is currently in there. So we don't want to play that straight away if we re-raise legions. It'll be one of the last ones that we draw out of the pile. Now, as a result,
But that may be an interesting modification, right? One could add to the board game, to the
true.
module.
Yep, absolutely. So Junius now gets 1 extra influence and 1 extra oratory. And so make sure you update your vote tally accordingly. So you've got oratory of 2 on each of your senators for 4, plus the oratory of your disbanded legion, which gives you 5 votes. So that's very good. All right. Let's finish off this resolution phase. Now, every player shouldn't have any more than 5 cards. I don't think everyone's got a pretty stable hand. 1, 2, 3. Yep, is the max amount of cards. Very good. And now we go through the formal declaration of rebellion stage. So let's head over to our commander. Now, noting, I guess, he has disbanded his legion, is sort of an indicator that he's potentially going to be loyal to Rome and not becoming a rebel. But let's ask him the question. But of course, he gets the option to check for legion loyalty first if he so chooses. But really, yeah, this is your announcement podium, your soapbox, and Marius Aurelius.
I think it's time to become a returning general.
Yeah, very, very good. So, yeah, all right, very good. So, Unius is now officially back in Rome, so we can bring our legions back to the active forces box. Good. Yep. Return our tokens. The away from Rome markers can go back in the bag. So that's good work, folks. I'll put Unius, the commander, back over again to the side. That's a good job for me to do, is put in the search function for our external senators, so we can look them up quicker than the manual hunts that I do when each time we send a senator outside of Rome. Good. So our forces are back in the active forces box. Unius is back home, getting good pats on the back with his disbanded legion now, and now benefiting from that, which is awesome.
Decimus
And-
Aurelius, just a point of order. I just want to confirm
Yeah.
if I understand correctly. The 7th Legion we can't recruit in its basic form in our current state?
Is this a question to me?
Yes, because
So
I'm just reading it. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say that it can only be recruited if it's the last of the legions to be recruited.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you reading the rules right now yourself?
Yeah, sorry. I was just double checking. So in our current state, because it isn't the last, we've got
Correct.
legions. We are blocked from the 7th Legion from being raised.
That's right. So if you raise, there's currently 9 legions left maximum to raise. If you raise 8 legions, then the 7th stays loyal. The 7th will stay in there. But if you raise the full 9 legions, then right, the loyalty disappears. You raise the base legion as it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because how the legions are then placed in the bank, not the available force pool, with their legion side up. This is 2.04.2 disbandment.
Yeah. So in the advanced rule, that's good. So so the active forces is the pool, and so we've put that marker back in the bank, which is the Legion's token bag over here. So that's where we put it for the moment.
Okay,
But-
I would think even if we reach max, you would never be able to raise the base form.
Wait, what do you mean? If we reach the maximum amount of
Yeah, because
legions which were
there's
not
what-
disbanded, the Senate could decide then to raise the ones which are disbanded if it reached the maximum amount of
Right. That's
legions
my
which were
current
not
understanding.
disbanded.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
So here we go. So at the bottom of page 23 here, it says, once all the remaining legions from the available force pool have been raised, the Senate may also raise disbanded legions from the bank. Disbanded legions raised in this way may no longer be recalled by their senator and no longer have veteran status. Give the
Okay.
legion allegiance marker back to the bank, but the senator keeps his oratory and influence. So that's something we need to note. So if the Senate raises that legion later, that the old commander actually gets to keep his oratory and influence, which is different from if he recalls the legion himself. He'll lose that oratory and influence.
I gotcha.
So everybody's, but these are good questions, right? Because we don't see this too often, even in our game. So that's it's great questions to ask. But everybody's happy now.
Yes,
the
thank you very
understanding.
much.
Yeah,
Cool,
I don't think we'd ever had this happen before. If I'm
No, I don't, yeah, most people have opted
No, we
not to disband the legion. So that's good to see it. I think.
that was my
I
thinking.
almost feel like pulling out one of those Gladys quotes. No one's usually that obviously cruel.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the revolution phase. We have not met any of our victory conditions right now. We don't have 4 or more active wars, so we're not losing either. The unrest level is controlled. The treasury is controlled. But we don't have any consoles for life currently in play. So we now get to advance on to turn 3. If somebody would like to take the honor in bringing us to the start of turn 3 and the mortality phase. Fan-diddly-tastic. Great to be here at the start of turn 3. So
No, the
we now-
mortality phase is never great.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that's right. It's never a good thing, is it?
It's
That's
saddening.
Yeah.
So perhaps let's have our most recent victorious commander draw the 2 required mortality chits. So Nemurius Aurelius, please draw from the mortality chit bag 2 mortality chits and place them next door there. And let's have a look. So we have 12 and 5. So who has Senators 12 and 5?
I've got 5.
All right. So 5 is a young'un. So you'll need to grab an elder token. Who's got 12? Anybody? I think 12 might be in the courier. Let's just double check. 15, 2, and 4.
12 is,
Oh, no.
here. It is.
Ah, there you go. So Achilles is now going to become an elder. So let's place an elder on Achilles. So that's an interesting dynamic. Makes him
And
less
no one
desirable,
wants-
perhaps. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we've had 2 people age in this round, so that's interesting to see, but no deaths, which is probably a good thing. So I can return those mortality chits. Now, the other thing we probably skipped over, which we should probably do, is perhaps clear the forum. Now, we've got no imminent wars to worry about, which is good. We also need to increase the age of the wars that are out there at the moment. So if somebody wants to change the state of the Aurelian War from age 1 to age 2, right click and then change the state up 1. We can advance that war. Good. Excellent.
Should we get rid of the manpower shortage card now?
Not yet. We'll do that at the start of the forum phase. I think I
Right.
misled myself earlier, I think, when we were talking about it. But I think we've now finished the mortality phase. So if somebody wants to now click the box again, and we can go to the revenue phase. All right. Who wants to bring up the box from the tool section for us so we can all see? There it is. You guys know what to do. Now, don't forget, there are 2 of you that have governors. So that's the Corona Orange faction and the purple Solar faction. You guys need to account for your provinces now. So make sure you add those. So Scipio Africanus of Orange faction has Sicilia, and Furious of Corsica et Sardinia has that faction. That province. So make sure you guys include that. I'll look at the state for you all. Active legions, what would we say? 16 plus veterans. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That's all we've got so far, isn't it? Yes. And fleet, we've got 4. Type 2 land bill in effect. Pontifex Maximus, provincial
And with
wars.
the senator being away, we don't get the income? Or do?
Sorry, say that one more time.
For senators away from Rome.
Yep, they still get their basic income. Yep, so if they're not a faction leader, they'll still get their 1 talent. Yep, that's right. You'll still get that. It'll calculate that for us, not to worry. So we've got 1 active war on the board, so that'll be calculated by the state as well. You've got a Type 2 land bill, 16 legions and 4 fleets, so that'll all come into effect. Now, so note that this will do all your provincial calculations for you. Now, for those that have got provinces up there, obviously you're ticking if you want to take spoils. So good. So I can see that, for example, the orange faction will be seeking to take spoils, but the purple faction will not. So that will also be reflected in the rolls. And these rolls will also tell you whether or not that province gets developed or not as well. Okay, so that'll also be handled. And when you look at your notes, once we've done the calculation, it'll also tell you how much money you've got to spend on raising provincial forces, which is also an option of our governors. But the cards tell you anyway, right? So if you look closely at your cards, you can see local taxes, and that will be how much money you've got to spend on forces. Now, we need to note that until the forum phase, the Legion cost is actually 20, right? So it's actually, from what I understand, I think this still affects provincial forces, and that's probably going to bite me in the butt later. We should probably check that. But there's probably an increased cost into raising provincial forces right now due to the manpower shortage. So, for example, Sicilia has 30 to spend, and there's only 5 in Sardinia at Corsica. So the only way that Sardinia at Corsica could raise provincial forces is if Furious from his personal treasury contributes to those state taxes. Just keep that in mind, but that'll be reflected in the notes shortly. So we're just waiting on the red faction to finish. Is that correct? Marco Wedia, your box is not ticked on the right-hand side. make sure you've taken care of your knights if you've got them. Everyone's got their senator numbers. All right, everybody's ready to go. I think everybody's got all the concessions accounted for. Yep, we've got no Pontifex Maximus. Now, I noticed that the Green faction has said their leader is not assigned. Any reason for that? You haven't assigned one yet because it died in the last.
Yes. It
Yeah,
is
right. Good.
not
So
assigned.
that's
We can
accurate.
only assign it later.
Correct. That's good.
Yeah.
So that's accurate. Very good. Well done, everybody. All right, let's go generate the revenue. Let's have a look. Very good. So everybody's got their totals at the top there under their title. So I can see it's pretty. Well, I was going to say it's consistent. It's not. So the green faction, for example, is getting 4. Blue's getting 10 talents. So you can do your redistribution between your faction treasuries and your senators as well. Purple's getting 12. Yellow gets 7. Orange gets 11, and red gets 10 today. So having that number, you can split that amongst your yellow money markers and your faction treasury. So just make sure you keep count and you're not accidentally giving yourself more somewhere. That's very good. So let's have a look through some of the notes. So, yep. So the Egyptian grain gave 5 to the Red Aquila faction. Provincial spoils, in this case, gave 2 to the Orange faction there. And we know now that the governor is corrupt. And the governors will actually update their term dials as well simultaneously.
And
so
everyone has to adjust their concession card to corrupt.
yes,
status.
correct. Good reminder. Yes, so obviously everybody with taking their concessions, drag your concessions out to reveal the corrupt bar. And for those that have got governors overseas, make sure that you put your some sort of marker down to represent your term as governor. So perhaps grab one of the white number markers is probably a great way to represent that, and put that as a number 2 now, and place that over the perhaps bottom center of your province cards to show that you've got 2 or you're on your second term. That's it. Good. Well done, governors. Now, I guess for Sicilia, does somebody just want to double check in the rules that they agree that provincial forces and the raising of provincial forces is also subject to manpower shortage? I think it is. So if we go to the advanced part of the rules.
What was the question exactly?
So does the manpower shortage also affect the raising of provincial forces and fleets? So right now we have an increase in cost for the raising of legions and fleets at the Senate level, but does that also carry over to the raising of provincial forces?
I think so the standard terminology is that provincial forces are not called legions.
Right.
For this specific reason, because if the card reads the cost of raising new legions, it at least doesn't affect the legions, the provincial forces. But in case with fleets, it's maybe another case. I'm not so sure about the fleets part.
Sure, but what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and that's consistent with the application of a lot of rules concerning the difference between legions and provincial forces, and we often don't attribute them to be the same thing. So, and when you look at the manpower shortage, it explicitly says legions and fleets, so meaning at the Senate level. So I'd probably argue that the raising of provincial forces is not affected by the manpower shortage.
It appears in both cases that it states that it's a provincial army and provincial fleet. So it looks like there is terminology different in both cases.
Right. So let's play it that way. So for example, Sicilia, you have your full 30 local taxes to spend. So at 10 per unit for fleets and legions, we can use our physical tokens down here. You may, at your leisure, you don't have to raise any if you don't want, but you may spend up to 30 on essentially 3 units for Sicilia if you so choose. So that's for you, Tiberius Cornelius.
Look, I'm inclined to, because there's the possibility of further wars that could cause a revolt or otherwise impact Sicilia, isn't there?
That is correct. So the other thing,
Second Punic War, I think.
so it defends against the first and second slave revolts. So that gives you an idea of potential future conflicts that it has to defend against.
What's
so
the
the other
benefit
thing,
of fleets over provincial legions?
So I guess the fleets will defend against provincial wars that require naval battles.
Yeah.
And I guess it helps with fleet support in provincial battles. And obviously, yeah, you know what provincial armies are for. That's pretty obvious.
I think also, if from memory sake, there was like a pirate war that had like a large fleet number and a low army.
I believe so.
So
True.
sometimes there are a few like weird battles where like, oh, to raise like 5 fleets right now is a bit more awkward compared to how much navy. Also, normally we're top heavy with legions rather than fleets.
Right.
So with that case, I'd probably lean towards maybe fleets being more valuable, at least early on, where most of these wars seem to only require supports. We're not really raising a large navy.
You can hedge that.
Yeah, or 2 navy, one army.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to balance it the other way. I'm going to go 2 army, 1 navy.
Certainly. So you can see the bags there. You can grab those at your leisure and stand them up nearby your province. So the red and blue bag just at the bottom of the map.
All right.
There you go. Yep, you found them. Very good. And yeah, so we won't close the revenue just yet. Just make sure all the players are happy that they've distributed everything that they wanted to. Now, I just want to note our public agreement down the bottom right there.
I have already subtracted 2 from myself.
Okay.
Cool.
I will
Very
add
good.
my
Good. Excellent. I just want to make sure that goes down. But even outside the terms of agreement, players can just now also talk about the exchange and exchange money for any other reason. So if
Have we
anybody
added
wants
the
to have that
state
discussion,
revenues on the 37 for the state?
we have. Yeah. So has somebody updated the state revenue
I
yet?
did add that. I updated. Yep.
Cool. Well done. So that's good. So we got an additional 37 to our state treasury, which brings us to the 115 that we see there. And we can actually see that breakdown. So we had 100 annual revenue, minus 32 for legions, minus 8 for fleets, minus 5 for land bills, minus 20 for the active war. We ended up seeing minus 4 on the provincial income over there. That was interesting to see. And there was a plus 6 for Sicilia. So that was good. So
now
we
I'm
suffered
the
debt in that one. Yes. Yeah.
With the disbandment of the Legion, would that technically count as a force or no?
No, so it doesn't exist. So it wasn't
Okay.
accounted for. Yep.
All right.
Which is good. Right. So let's tick our boxes if everybody's ready. So Mark Awedi, if you're happy that you've finished your calculations, if you want to tick your box, and then right now somebody can close the box, the little red X at the top of near the purple section. Very good. Okay, let's go look at our cheat sheets and let's finish off our revenue phase there. So and we just quickly tick the boxes here. So we've done our personal revenues, we've done redistribution, we've done province development, which we didn't have any, unfortunately, this time. State revenue is done. We've talked about debts, we've talked about local forces, and we've talked about governors. So the only thing left to do is state revenues, which is contributions to the state, rather. So starting with the highest ranking available officer, which is the Rome consul right now. We can see if we get to add any additional revenue to the state for those so generous. So let's start with you, Rome consul.
8 wasn't
Appius
correct.
Rufus.
There was a 7, right? Someone must have clicked, or I was. So it's 7 and not 8. I have corrected this.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. So would you like to make any contributions to the state treasury at this time?
No, sir.
Not a problem. The Orange Corona faction, Tiberius Cornelius. Any contributions to the state treasury at this time?
Could we take a lead from Marcus's suggestion and drop a vote on the yay if we want to do that?
Yep, sure. I mean, I've still got to go around in order,
Okay.
but certainly, if you want to speed up the process,
If it's not a benefit, then don't do it. But it's just a query. But my answer is no to your question.
Yep, very good. Mark Awedi is going to say no. Across to Marcus Decimus, would you like to make a contribution to the state treasury? No. Numerius Aurelius, are you going to make a contribution? No. And Quintus Octavius, are you going to make a contribution? No. That was pretty quick, so that's a good idea. Well done.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Good suggestions, guys, and you're making things much quicker for me, you, and all the viewers at home. So well done. That's I'm loving it. You guys are coming up with some good ideas today. Obviously, the time off has served us well. That's very good. And I think, folks, if there's unless there's any objections, we've now completed the revenue phase. So would somebody like to update our little graph there and change it to the forum phase? Now we can clear away all those nasty event cards in the forum, unless stated otherwise. So if somebody wants to yank away that manpower shortage, and it's good, somebody has already updated the Legion Fleet token. That's fantastic. Yeah, you guys know how this all works now. So we've now cleared the forum board, and we get to do our favorite time of day, which is the initiative phase. Do we get sevens or not? So, highest ranking variable officer, Rome Console, Appius Rufius. We're going to roll a 2d6 at your leisure. Let's see if we get a 7 or not. He rolls an 8, so you get to draw a card from the draw pile, sir, and place that in your hand. Have a bit of a gander. Red text stays with you. Black text goes out into the field.
Yeah, it stays with me.
Perfect. All right. So, first question, as we always do looking at the cheat sheet here, is would you like to make a persuasion attempt today, sir?
No, sir.
No, sir, is the answer back we get. Now, who will be rolling for a knight today?
A free roll, right? And it will be Aemilius.
Aemilius, and he would not like to spend any money on that roll?
No, it's a free roll.
Yeah, it is a free roll. That is correct. So you can see if you can roll a 6 today at your leisure. He will get a...
Nice.
Oh, he gets a knight. Look at that. He rolls one. See, that was perfect. Yeah, you'd planned for that. That's very good. Now, would you like to sponsor any games today?
No.
Certainly. And any change of your faction leader?
Yes.
Certainly. Go ahead and do that. So now...
Aemilius.
Aemilius is now going to be your faction leader. That's splendid. Very good. And I'm pretty sure that will conclude your initiative step. So well done. Nice and efficient.
Yes,
all right, let's go to Tiberius Cornelius of the Orange faction now. If you'd like to roll your 2d6, and let's see if you get a 7 or not, good sir. He rolls, he shoots,
10.
He gets a 10. Go ahead and draw yourself a card, sir, from the draw pile. Take that into your hand. Red text stays with you. Black text to the field.
How do I flip them again?
Yes.
F, thank you.
That's it. Yep, good.
That's red.
Red, you get to keep it. Lovely. Now, would you like to make a persuasion attempt today, good sir?
I would not.
All right. And who will be rolling for a knight today? One of your senators in Rome?
Calpurnicus.
Calpurnicus. Any money for the cause?
Yeah, I'll put 5 on.
All right. So that's pretty much an automatic victory, and he's spent the money. I've seen that and I've verified. So would you like to roll anyway? But pretty much you're getting a knight. So fantastic. Would you like to sponsor any games today?
No. Thank you.
Probably not. And any change of your faction leader?
No.
All right. That will conclude your initiative. Let's step across now into the red faction with Marca Wedia. Marca Wedia, go ahead at your leisure and roll the 2d6, and let's see if you get a 7 or not. All right, we've got 1. We need a second one. So that was that? First one was a 2. Second was a 5. So I'm going to take that. That's a 7. So we're doing events now. So I'm going to move my view up to the events table. Random events table. There we go. So we're looking at the early republic. So now, Marca Wedia, could you please roll a 3d6, and we're going to see what event that we might get today. Hope for something good. All right. So we got 1, we got 2, and 3. So 3, 4, 5. So does everyone agree it's 5?
Agreed. Alloys.
All right. Allied dessert. So if somebody wants to search in the event card deck for us to see Quintus Octavius, lightning as ever, he's going to bring up, there it is, bang, it's out there. Allied desserts. Let's have a read, folks. Let's zoom in on this card and let's talk it through. So Roman allies are wavering, which seems weird because, we've been winning all our battles.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like Russia all over again. All battles fought this turn with an event result on a 3d6 will result in a temporary increase to the war card strength for this turn. Let me read that again. All battles fought this turn with an even result. That's better.
Even.
Thank you.
Yeah, even. Yeah.
With an even result on the 3d6 will result in a temporary increase to the war card strength for this turn equal to the result on the black die. This increase is applied after any multipliers for matching wars. Okay, so
So
all
we
battles
roll.
fought this turn with an even result on the 3d6 combat roll will result in a temporary increase to the war card's strength for this turn. So this is curious.
Mm-hmm.
So
So we just roll 3d6 and then
Let's go back to this interpretation once we get there. If we
Yeah.
do not get an even result, we do not have to care about this.
So I'm just curious how this comes
Hold on.
into effect. So if you roll an even number on the 3d6,
Say
Yes.
16.
say
Then
16,
it comes into effect. Then you take the power of the black die, which would be the coloured die in our case, and then you add it to the roll modifier.
I see. Right.
Against us.
Okay, good.
But
I'm
only if you
glad
get an
somebody
even.
stepped us through that. Right. So it is still possible to get a victory in that war, but you're doing an additional modification on that 3d6. Have I interpreted that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. So there's a slightly additional layer of complexity there, but nonetheless, not the end of the world. I think that's manageable if you can continue to roll high and hope that your black number was low on one of the black dies. We're going to work out how to manage that because
I think
we've
one of
got
the dies is coloured. Like if you click on the actual
yeah.
die
So-
roll, one
Yeah,
will
there
be
you
coloured.
go. One of them's coloured, so that will be our magical die that we'll consider.
So
Yep.
here you go. For example, 10. So it'd be a +2 to them.
Yeah, so a
Okay.
10, it's an even, it would apply. Therefore, if the war strength was 6, it would get a +2. So then become an 8 in this case of a roll.
Right. So okay. All right. So good. All right.
Dumb-
We're
Dumb
understanding how
question.
that plays.
How am I
Yeah.
meant to roll 3d6 instead of pressing the die 3 times?
You just got to click quickly. So if you can have a test now
Yeah.
if you like. If you click one of those boxes 3 times rapidly, you'll get 3 in a row. There you go. You got 2 that time. If you click
Okay.
3
Quick
quickly,
enough.
yeah, that's how you can roll multiple die. That's it. Yeah. Practice that at your leisure.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. You got it. You got it. All right. Let's finish your initiative there. First of all, would you like to make a persuasion attempt today?
Not today.
Easy. Who would like to roll for a knight?
Aurelius. I'm
Aurelius is going to roll for a knight. And would you
Yeah.
like to spend any money from him? Was that one talent I
5.
saw?
Yeah.
You'd like to spend all 5?
Yeah.
Very good. So
Mhm.
that's an automatic. So go ahead and you can add a knight to his card. I think you've got a token there ready. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Cool. So he gets a knight. Would you like to sponsor any games today? Probably not, judging by the empty purses on your senators. And would you like to change your faction leader today?
No, not. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, that's your initiative done. Let's go across to Marcus Decimus. At your leisure, sir. 2d6, looking for a 7 or not?
No.
Okay, we've got a 6 and 8. So for a total of 8 there. So go ahead and draw a card. Red you keep, black goes to the forum. See what we get.
It is black to the forum.
Black to the forum. All right, so he's going to drag that out. He's going to take it over to the wars area. So let's zoom in and have a look. So it is a enemy leader. It's Anatochus the
We just defeated
third
them.
of the Syrian war, and so that would generally increase the strength of the Syrian war. But I'm pretty sure, folks, that in all space on the board we do not have a Syrian war. So guess what? Guess where he gets to go? He will go a one-way ticket to the Curia. If somebody would like to take him to the Curia and put him in his place. And so we'll test for his death later on. So that's good. That's not a bad draw, I think, at the end of the day there, if we have to draw something war related. Let's finish off Marcus Decimus's initiative. Any persuasion attempts from you today, sir?
No, thank you.
Who would like to roll for a knight today?
Oh, was it Claudius?
Claudius, yep.
Claudius, I'll spend all 5 of my talents.
There's an automatic knight for you. Great. So I can see the money drained. That is verified. Transaction complete. And knight acquired. Good. Would you like to sponsor any games today, sir?
No, thank you.
All right. And finally, any change of faction leader?
No, thank you.
All right. And let's move across now to Numerius Aurelius at your leisure, sir. 2d6. Looking for a 7 or not? He will roll a 12. Nice. A couple of towers there. Go ahead and draw a card, sir. Red text you'll keep. Black text will come back to us in the forum. Quick draw. That's it. You got it. Perfect. I think, recall, folks, I think you can also what was it? Hover over the deck and press 1. It'll take one to your hand automatically too. Is another method. But
I
we've drawn
believe that is
another
the case.
interesting, conflicting little card here. So we have the first Illyrian War, which is one of 2 different wars, and I guess
Matches
somebody
the
have
other
already
one, doesn't
highlighted that we've actually already got a war out there. So this will be inactive until attacked or matched, and it is in fact matched, because if we have a look over here, we've got the second Illyrian War out there. So this is going to cause us some interesting things to think about. Now, defeating both of these wars will give us Illyricum upon defeating both of these wars.
But wait, it is
But wait.
or matched. But if it's matched, it's not inactive.
So it's going to go in the imminent wars box. Yep. Is that correct? So
that's my interpretation. So until attacked or matched, it is inactive.
Oh, is that what it says? Oh, a very special condition of the card, is it? Ah, good pickup. Let me have a look. So
it's inactive until attacked or matched, because
so it is matched, so it's going to be imminent. So it's going to be imminent.
It's going to be active, right?
It's active.
No, so it only specifies it'll be inactive until attacked or matched. So when you normally get a matching war, they're imminent.
Okay, yeah, right. So it goes imminent, active, which I think happened, if I recall, happened with the Punic Wars one time for us.
Imminent means that next time it goes to the active.
Correct.
Yes.
And then that
when we
also
say next
means
time, which phase does it go active?
Next
It becomes active at the next mortality phase.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
That's
yes,
right.
Yes.
That is right. The other thing you'll also need to remember is when it does become active, and if you've still got the second Illyrian War out there, you do have to defeat the wars in order. So they will. So if you don't defeat the second Illyrian War this time around, and the first Illyrian becomes active the next time, you then have to fight the first Illyrian before you can achieve a victory in the second Illyrian.
All right.
So you have to defeat them in order.
The first one has a drought associated to it.
Right?
True.
Question
Yes,
for
question?
the forum as well. Did we do unprosecuted wars? Was that last game?
That'll come into effect in a moment when it gets to the population phase.
I'm getting ahead of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. No, that's good. I like that you guys are thinking. That's really good. But yeah, we will have to account for our unprosecuted war coming up shortly. But right, that's a good highlight as well. There's a drought there, and because it's on the field, that drought will affect us a little bit later as well. So it's actually apt that we talked about unprosecuted, because that all affects unrests, right? So so yeah, good to note that first Illyrian War has a drought marker on it, so we'll have to remember that for later. Okay, so let's finish off the initiative step for Nemurius Aurelius now. Any persuasion attempt from you today, sir?
No, thank you.
Who's going to roll for a knight today?
That will be Junius.
Junius is going to roll for a knight. Any money for the cause?
Yes, 5 talents, please.
Yeah, right. Another auto, spending big on local allies. So that's good. So he's going to empty his purse onto the table and grab yourself another number marker there, and give yourself a knight for Junius. While you're there, is anybody going to be sponsoring games today?
Yes, that will be Manlius.
Oh, very good. So if we have a look at our cheat sheet, this also gives us the rundown, but it's also up on the bottom of the map too. So sponsoring games, the minimum level is 7 talents, which will give you 1 popularity and -1 to the arrest level. So I'm assuming that's the level that you're going for, sir?
Yes, 7 talents, please.
Yeah, awesome. So he's going to spend 7 talents. He's going to leave 1 measly talent in his purse. He's going to add himself the popularity. That's nice. And I can see Quintus Octavius is going to burn 1 of our unrest level, which is fantastic. So thank you to Manlius for sponsoring some games. I'll tell you what, that gladiator battle was fantastic. A much better performance than the NRL Grand Final. For anyone who watched that. Good. And any change of faction leader today, sir?
Yes, I'll swap them over.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem at all. And that will conclude your initiative. Let's go to the last guy on the field, green faction, Quintus Octavius. When you're ready, sir, you know what to do. 2 dice is coming out. And we get good. We get 6. Grab yourself a card off the deck. Red text you keep. Black text goes to the forum.
To the forum.
Okay, something to the forum. Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. So we've got a new senator who's come into play here, up for grabs. Number 13, Flaminius. military rating of 4, oratory 2, loyalty 6, starting influence of 3. So that's a freely available senator there. So let's ask you the questions. Any persuasion attempt from you today, good sir?
No, we won't.
You sure?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Okay, yeah, all right, that's no problem. I'm just making sure you're sure. Who's going to be rolling for a night today? I guess you've only got the choice there. Any money for the cause from him?
No, not at all. No money.
All right, so just going to take the free roll. Unlucky. I guess not going to be sponsoring games today, I guess, but now you get to assign him as your faction leader. Very good.
Woohoo.
All right. Splendid. That'll take us to the end of those initiative steps now. Now we get to put Rome in order, everybody. So if you are holding a major office right now, folks, please grab yourself a major corruption marker from the middle of the board, just under the dais there. Flip it to its major side and throw that on that senator. So that includes Rome consul, the field consul, and the censor. I think that's all the major officers we have at the moment because Pontifex Maximus doesn't exist.
Where is where again is he?
Right in the middle is the corruption markers.
Yeah. Okay. See.
There you go. And if you flip them over to the other side, it should say major, I think, because it comes out as minor on one side and major on the other. So everybody should get a major corruption if you've got one of those classical stock purple tokens on your card. So let's just double check the field. I can see the censor's got one. Fantastic. Well done, Marca Wedia. I can see the Rome consul's got one. Fantastic. Appius Rufius. And I can see Unius has got his as the field consul. Thank you, Numerius Aurelius. All right, so good. I've now done that. We don't have the Second Punic War or the Gladiator Slave Revolt active right now, so we don't need to worry about destroying tax farmer concessions. But now we get to speak with our HRAO and see if we can kill off some enemy leaders and revive some senators, etc. So this is always nice. We're looking at 5 and 6s are the magical numbers here. I guess it's your choice. We can probably start with enemy leaders, perhaps, see if we can get rid of Anatocus III. So if you were on a roll, your 1d6 there, Appius Rufius, and let's see if we can get a 5 or a 6 to get rid of him. Unlucky, he's going to stay. So we know that we've got 3 senators in the Curia here. We're going to start with the oldest death there, which is Sulpicius. So again, if you want to roll for him, a 5 or a 6 to revive him to the forum. Unlucky, so let's move him just to the side for the moment. Now we're going to go for Fabius, 5 or a 6 again there. Appius Rufius. There's the roll. Unlucky again. And, oh, hang on, let me pick him off out of the way. Good. And then finally, Julius there at the bottom, if you want to roll the 1d6. And hey, so Julius will get to go to the forum, and then Fabius at the bottom, Sulpicius on top. Thank you, Quintus Octavius in the Curia. Good. So we have 3 senators available for future persuasion attempts now, which is really good. Let's have a look at our cheat sheet to finish off to see if we've got anything else to do. All players now need to update their faction vote tallies. What a great idea. So oratory plus knights, folks. Oratory plus knights. And update your faction vote tallies in the front of your faction areas. And then we'll go around and just double check everybody's tallies. Oh, yeah, cool. Poached Trout's on. I've missed a bunch of messages from him. Yes, he is verified in this tabletop simulator module that the color die acts as the black die in this case. Good. And he's actually given us a fun fact. He goes, the Avalon Hills edition of the game issued 2 white die and 1 colored die, i.e. non-white, whereas the Valley Games edition issued 2 white dice and 1 black die. So the Avalon Hill version uses the term colored die, and Valley Games uses the term black die. Oh, that's interesting. And he's also confirmed for us that the first Illyrian War goes to the Imminent Wars box and will become active at the beginning of the next Mortality phase. And right, obviously we need to account that if both those wars are active simultaneously, then the strengths are doubled, right? So that becomes costly. So if they're still around when first Illyrian War comes out, we'll see the first Illyrian War's strength will be 10. And then once you defeat that war, then it goes back to the second Illyrian War will be a strength of 4. So, and then obviously with the event token out there, the Allied Deserts, you're up for another additional strength on that. So it'll be 10 plus up to a total of an additional 6 potentially, depending on how unlucky you are in that combat role. So very fascinating. Let's see. What else do we need to do here?
Somebody's put my influence, I think, on 8, but isn't my influence only 7?
On Papirius somewhere. Where are you looking there, Marcoedia?
I'm on the influence track or something.
Oh, yeah, you probably need to update that. Yeah, so if everybody would like to update their vote tally track, which is on the right-hand side of the map, and the influence track. So if everybody would like to update their tokens, they haven't been updated in a while as well. So it'd be nice to know where everybody's influence is sitting as well.
Oh, sorry, the influence track. So
yeah, so the influence track's on the far left-hand side of the board.
Right, so I'm still thinking I've only got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Help
7.
you verify.
Not 8.
Yep, 3, 4, 5, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you've got 18 influence according to my count.
I'm confused.
Influence is the center number underneath your senators.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, influence. That's it.
Territory.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, your knights will contribute to your vote tally. That's correct. And that will bring us to the end of the forum phase, and now we get to move into the population phase. So if somebody would like to update that center piece again, excellent. Well done, Quintus Octavius, into the population phase. Very good. All right. So now that we're populating, we can see on our cheat sheet here we need to do some calculations. So we're going to be modifying our unrest level. So what this means, it'll be +1 for every drought, or drought effects, and unprosecuted wars. So how many unprosecuted wars do we have, folks? We've got one. And we've got one drought as well. So that's for an increase of 2. So if everybody agrees, we're going to see an unrest increase from 2 to 4. Very good. Thank you, Quintus Octavius, for that one. And now we're going to move into the State of the Republic, where we get to see and hear a wonderful speech from our highest ranking available officer, the Rome Consul. And once he's finished talking, then we'll do the calculation of the State of the Republic address. And we'll note that once we have implemented the outcome of the State of the Republic address, then we are into the Senate phase. So let's hand over now to the Rome Consul for his State of the Republic address at turn 3. So over to you, Appius Rufius.
Yes, we are blessed by the gods, it seems. We got victory over the Syrians, and Antiochus came too late to the party, actually. And under our leadership, combined leadership of Junius and Aemilius, we managed to keep things smooth in the Republic, right? Unrest isn't too high yet, but we have to address it, for it's quite some unrest. Not imminent dangers on the war front against Illyrians, but we have. Oh, we heard rumors already that another uprising of some Illyrian tribes is coming, and we have to keep this in mind in order to not let it spiral out of hand, right? Not spiral it out of control, the war. And what else do we have to do? And we have to reconsider the balance of power in the Republic, right? Some factions are very influential now, and we have to keep this in mind. And some became very rich, it seems, due to some lucky events. Okay. So, and we most especially we have to address the question of electing a new Pontifex Maximus in order to keep the blessing of the gods with us. And we have to choose the right person, a pious person for this. And with that, I will end my speech, right?
Perfect. I like it. Nice. Thank you, Rome Consul. That sounded pretty good to me. Hopefully the plebeians enjoyed that as well. So if we look at our calculation here, we're going to have the HRO in just a moment. He's going to roll 3d6, and we're going to add his popularity. Do you have any popularity on your Rome Consul there?
Yes, I do.
And what's that number?
2.
2. Oh, that's very good. So it'll be 3d6 plus 2 minus the unrest level, which is currently 4. So we're essentially seeing a -2 to the 3d6. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
Cool. All right. At your leisure, Rome Console, if you'd like to roll your 3d6, and we will -2 to that outcome, and we'll see what that looks like on the table. That's a pretty good roll. 13 minus 2 is 11, if I'm not mistaken.
No change.
No change. They're indifferent. Like most Western democracies, though, they're indifferent. That's with their government. That's that's a good outcome, I think, at the end of the day. In sometimes challenging times. So well done to the Rome Console. I think it's still a good outcome. I think the popularity helped there a little bit as well. Good call on that front. And that certainly takes us into the Senate phase. So just a reminder, particularly more so for our viewers, because the Senate is already aware, we're going to finish our session today at the end of the election of the consoles. And the reason why we do this is that provides a whole week for our new consoles to not only decide who's going to be who's going to be the Rome console and who's going to be the field console, but it also allows that Rome console, once he's known, to really think about his proposals. And so the following week, when we get into our Senate session, they'll be able to come out firing with all their proposals, and our Senate sessions won't take as long. So I guess over to you, Rome console. It is now your Senate as per the schedule.
One question though: will there be a short break for us, or will we go?
Well, I guess we're nearly finished. But if you'd like to call for a break now, we can have a break in our stream. Would you like to do that, Rome console?
If you're very optimistic that this will end fast, that's great.
Yeah, like I said, because we're gonna end at the election of the consoles, where we are but a proposal away from the finish of our session. So we're nearly there for today's session. So
then let's see what happens now.
Sure. All right. So I guess awaiting your proposal for consoles.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, take your time. Considering your options there.
Yes. I will consider my options. So first of all, the nominee markers, right? I will grab those.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes things easier for people. Yeah,
these are very important. And yes, so be the next option here. So one thing, prior console marker has to be put on him, right? On this Junius prior console marker.
Yeah. Generally, we would do that at the when the old consoles come away. But yeah, that will occur shortly.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. So who would like to enter an agreement with me?
Nice, Ben. Bartering. I like to hear
it. To provide for me the so even if I wouldn't get the censor, none of my senators would get prosecuted. Is there anyone?
So the deal is that you want censor, is that correct?
I would like to get it because there are other options which are increasing the influence of some families. Because if I'm looking to the board now, on the board, Papyrus is on 13, Junius is on 12, and these are both with prior consul, so they would be eligible. And I would be the minor imbalancing factor here in the Republic, I guess.
So I'm hearing that if you elect him as censor, someone else will be prosecuted. So it's not a good deal if you corrupt anyone.
Pardon? Say it again.
It's not a good deal for most people because everyone's got a corrupt faction here. So
yeah. The thing is, I would guarantee to this person who would help me in getting the one of the consul ships that I wouldn't prosecute him.
So what are you looking for, Happy? Is you looking for two people to say they would like to be the consoles on the basis that they would then make your prior console the sensor.
My most favorable action would be to get Aemilius being the sensor, because he would have in the end the lowest amount of influence, because the other two possible candidates would get +5 on their currently high amount of influence.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm happy to put Carponius up as one of the consoles.
Okay. Let's try and see how it goes then. We can try, right? And nominate, I will nominate Valerius and Calpurnius. And
I think to get across the line, you might need to nominate from outside your faction.
You think, though?
I think, yeah.
Let's see how it goes. So first of all, how does Marcus Decimus Meridius vote on this issue?
I'll vote 10 against the proposal.
How does Quintus Octavius Gurgis vote on this issue?
Because my vote has very large amounts of sway here, I shall put my vote in the abstain pile.
How does Machiavellia Novella vote on this issue?
I also would probably put it in the no pile, because it's the thing of
Nemurius Aurelius, what are you doing?
He's just trying to crash the game, you know?
Patiently waiting.
Or impatiently waiting, one of the two.
Yeah, I'd hate to see what your unpatiently waiting is, if that's your...
Yeah.
I would have just thrown it in the pile.
Okay, we will end this now. Numerius Aurelius Ingeniarius. How do you vote?
I'm going to abstain. I'm joking.
All right, give me 2 seconds.
Okay, how do you vote then, Cornelius? Okay, then I will vote yay, but this won't change. So this
Right.
combination is not possible anymore.
Defeated proposal, so no more Calpurnius and Valerius combination, okay. And it was not unanimously defeated, so it carries on as normal. That's good.
Okay, maybe I should go to another faction which has some money to get the job done. Okay. Aelius. I will nominate Aelius and Valerius as
can't you? Appius Rufius. Sorry, Appius Rufius, can you do a refresh for us? There's some people that can't see you. Sorry.
Sorry. Then I would have.
He has been talking.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to, yeah, he's just refreshing now. But good pickup. Thank you, Mark Wedia. That's good. I think the stream was picking him up. So we'll just wait for our HRAO to return after a quick refresh. Getting over our technical difficulties. Stand by. It would be nice to play a commercial right now. If I had my stuff together, we could play a quick 30-second commercial. Here we go. He's coming back anyway. All right. Sound check there, Rome console 1212.
1212. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Yeah, carry on. Sorry. Thank you. We can hear you now.
Yeah. So I will propose this, Marcus Decimus Meridius, if you publicly agree to get my Aemilius into the censorship office.
Mark Wedia, apparently you need to refresh your video as well. Apparently the stream can't see you. Thank you.
Yep, going on. You were speaking of the public deal.
Yeah. So I would like to nominate you in combination with my Valerius.
Mhm.
if you would make it happen that I will get the censorship with Arminius, and I, in return, will promise publicly to not prosecute any of your faction.
Okay. In the event that occurs, I agree publicly.
To make it happen, it's a onerous set of conditions.
Who are you killing?
What you buying? What you're selling?
So
don't we vote on who the censor is?
Yeah, we do. So making it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, well, this is a good deal for you, Marcus. I take it.
Yeah.
I
So,
said yes.
okay, we
Appius-
can be more specific. One of our guys will be the Rome consul.
Appius, you should ask him to make sure that he votes
Yes,
for you as
that-
censor.
I think the public deal would be, given the current proposal, if it would pass, I would do everything in my public power to try to have your senator that has the prior consul marker be the senator. In exchange, you will give a guarantee that none of my senators would be prosecuted for anything.
Just to be explicit, that means you will vote in his favor.
Yes, everything publicly in my power,
That's
I
good.
will attempt to do so.
Easy terms.
Yeah, like and non-public power would be like I wouldn't be required to pull out trying to assassinate people to try to get everything to work.
That's right.
Yeah, who would do such horrible things?
Yeah. Assassinations, right, senators.
Would it be? Yeah.
I'm happy to propose and agree to that public deal.
Jeez.
If there's a public deal that is agreed to by everyone, just make sure it's documented down the bottom right like the other.
Can I just check the scribes recording these proposals as well?
Yeah. Let's make a minor proposal. The scribe will now get the task of writing down those agreements. So, Marcus Decimus Meridius, how do you vote on this issue then first?
What's the issue being voted on? Sorry.
A minor proposal.
Technically speaking, by the letter of the law, the minor proposals are not able to be voted on at this time until the other mandatory subjects have been voted on. So it has to still be a console-only proposal at this time.
So who writes down this proposal then?
Well, you've already got a scriber who's writing stuff down on your proposals anyway from a previous, which is Quintus Octavius, he's been making notes in the background.
Why don't we'll write it up official if the vote goes through, because I think that sets up a lot of things before.
That's a good idea.
So we do what?
Why don't we officially write up the agreement after the vote goes through? Because if the vote doesn't pass, then you may be wanting to do a similar proposal with other senators.
Okay, but that has some dangers associated to it, right? Because one could, after the vote, try to reinterpret it. Okay, but let's go ahead then. And let's see how does Tiberius Cornelius Jacobus vote on this issue.
Sorry.
How does Marca Vedia Novella vote on this issue?
Can you just repeat that you are putting forward for your guy and one from Marcus?
He's putting Valerius and
okay, we're the nominees.
Aelius.
Okay. I'm voting nay.
How does Numerus Aurelius Ingeniarius vote on this issue?
Nay.
Make sure you announce your number of votes as well, folks, when you place them down.
6 votes.
7
nay.
and 7 against.
Total of 20.
How does
so far.
Quintus Octavius Gurgis vote on this issue?
Well, no matter how I vote, it's not going to work, so I'll just abstain.
I vote yay. And now it's up to Marcus Decimus Meridius.
I will vote yay.
Without paying money?
Yes.
Yes, and it doesn't pass.
Then it doesn't pass. Okay.
All right, that combo is defeated. I'm loving the thought going into these console proposals and people really considering them. You know, this is a big change from the early games we used to play where people were just voting the first set of candidates that had come out. I'm really liking the people not willing to let a free one go through to the keeper, so to speak, to use an Australian analogy. That's good.
Okay, I will propose then what do we have now? Apirius and for
I don't
Calpurnius.
believe you can actually vote Papirius as he's currently censor.
It's possible because he
Or
will
is the
lose the
censor
office
the one that
anyway.
allows it to be 2 officers?
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
no,
think.
he will lose it anyway.
No, but you can't be censored twice in a row, can you? Didn't we
No,
have that
it's-
issue last year?
It's
You
in the
can.
understanding. It is in the understanding that he will give up his censorship anyway. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm almost
sorry,
certain
yeah. That's
had
too many
this.
censor.
So if you want to check the rules, I'm open to it. I would like to investigate it with you. If you
So
is
the
there
only
someone who would
the only ineligible people that I see right now is this one and this one. These are the only ineligible candidates.
Yes,
The censor is eligible.
it's my
People are
interpretation.
away from Rome.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
No, I
okay.
was misconfusing. I was thinking of something else. So it's my mistake.
All good.
I think the only truly neutral people we can propose is the non-aligned senators.
So how do you vote on this
trying to
issue,
understand-
Marcus Decimus
I'm
Meridius?
just trying to
Sorry.
understand, is this of the underpinning of the public agreement that whomever you are putting forward will try to ensure you get censor?
No, you've never agreed to that.
No, I'm just trying to confirm this. Okay.
You've never made an agreement like that. So, I mean,
No.
if Appius wants to offer that
Yeah,
to you, he only offered it to Marcus. So,
Thank you.
So Marcus Decimus Meridius, how do you vote on this issue?
I will vote 10 against.
Quintus Octavius Gurgis, how do you vote on this issue?
Abstain.
Okay. Numerius Aurelius Ingeniarius, how do you vote on this issue?
that is, sorry, I'm just going to get the grabbing hand here. That is 6 votes against.
Tiberius Cornelius Jacobus, how do you vote on this issue?
7 in favor.
Marca Velia Novelia, how do you vote on this issue?
7 in favor.
Remember, you can split your votes.
Yeah. And what will I get for voting you into office?
I would do everything in my power to make your prior consul the censor.
If you okay, then we will go ahead another way. You would have to agree to a public agreement which is more specific. So one of your guys, is one of your family, representative of your family, will be the Rome consul, and he will propose first the other prior consul on the table, which is Junius, and we will vote it down.
I understand.
And whoever is Rome consul will never propose Papirius. It's the censor. And no one of your faction will veto Aemilius as censor.
Just a quick point of order. I note there's still an open vote on the field right now, Consul.
Yes.
Because you haven't placed your vote.
Yes.
Is it your plan to? Might I suggest before you start talking about public agreements that you perhaps finish the current vote?
No, because it depends on the public agreement how I will decide to vote.
Are you
Yes.
clarifying? Are you?
Well, he didn't start a public agreement beforehand, so he has to make one now. Otherwise,
But that's what I'm saying. It's perhaps invalid. It's perhaps invalid if he's halfway through a vote.
We'll take it to the High Court to decide.
How so? I can decide as a Rome consul how the road proceeds, and when the next one will be asked to vote.
Yeah, true. Yep. Yeah.
But it's
And
whether
in the meantime, I can make
midway
public
through a
agreement.
vote or not, because the point is that you've called for votes and then suddenly you've stopped calling for votes to propose something else separate. So it's whether or not the first is required to be finished.
Yeah, I think the point was the proposition seems to have changed mid-vote.
Right.
Is that
My
that's
point.
Yes, that's right. I could live with it, but
again, considering you're the only one remaining to vote, nobody else can really agree to a public vote because they can't vote because there's a vote outstanding.
And the other thing I feel that this actually interrupts what would be the normal kind of judicial process, because in some way it's then not allowing for other people who may have voted differently had they known at this point that perhaps there would be a different agreement.
Right. I mean, they can't agree to the public vote if they've already voted.
Yeah, correct.
The public deal, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you're stuck. I think you need to finish your current vote and then perhaps make a public proposal. So if you're not happy with the current outcome, then maybe you fail the current proposal and then make a new one under the pretenses of a public agreement, potentially.
I will abstain then.
Poached Trout has just made a great meme reference here. He goes, Appius is altering the deal. Pray that it doesn't alter it further. Pray that he doesn't alter it further. Yeah.
So there's room for a Star Wars quote.
Yeah. All right, so that was a failed proposal then, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. So, Scribe, you got a good recollection of all the candidates' combinations that have gone through so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You pick us up if we hit one that's already gone out.
So, do I get it now that you wouldn't be available for such a proposal, Tiberius and Marcavedia?
I would. Yeah, I understand your intent here. That's very clear to me.
No, my question wasn't that if you understand my intention.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Would you agree to such a proposal? We would have to specify it beforehand now.
Yeah, but we can sign a heads of agreement now and get your people to talk to my people and work out the details later.
Okay, and now to Marcavedia, what is something you said something that you wouldn't have agreed to this proposal if you would have known beforehand. Is it correct?
Yeah, perhaps it makes one feel that there's kind of this sense that it's more of an ethical thing. So yeah, if you wish to ask me, I would be open to you asking.
So then I ask you the following question: Which one of those eligible candidates would you prefer to be a censor?
You mean not censor? Don't you mean consul?
No, ma'am. I mean censor.
Oh, out of the 3 that are available.
Because you'll have, if you become consul, you'll have the power to elect a censor to do the proposal.
Yes, I feel that it would have been a usual thing that I would not have chosen Papirius. And yes, where are we? Emilius would have been the obvious option anyway.
Who?
your Emilius in yours, because as you said, he's lower as well too. So I don't feel that most people would be keen on, my guy being censor, or where are we as well too? Yes.
Okay, may I inquire then, what was the explicit obstacle then?
I think it was a sort of an administrative concern around altering the terms of the proposal mid-vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't align with me kind of ethically.
Okay. Then we will propose another set of consuls. Pirius. Fulvius. Do you vote on this issue, Markavedia? Okay. I would have had to make a specific
We haven't
public
called for
agreement
votes
beforehand.
yet.
But then it is said, oh no, don't write it down. No, we don't write it down beforehand.
Yeah,
I wrote it
if for
down.
clarity, you can certainly write it down. Yeah, that's fine.
Your
If
censor-
you're
your
looking,
scribe has
if
wrote
you're
it down, don't worry.
yeah, okay, if you're looking to put a proposal forward on the basis of some sort of public deal, yeah, certainly, yeah, grip that up beforehand. Yeah, make sure
So
everybody
do
is.
we have to go through with this proposal now or not? Or can I beforehand?
I'm sure we
I've
can
not
quickly
called for
rewind it,
votes.
right?
Or at least if you verbalize it quickly, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to kind of get on
Before a
board.
vote's cast, I think you can
Yes.
make it clear now.
Yes.
So
outline.
who will write it down then for us?
It's already been wrote
Well,
down.
it's in
the
chat,
right
so
now.
yeah.
Let me check it.
All right, so those watching on at home on the stream right now, where the Rome console is currently working the field, perhaps through a public agreement, and seeking to have that agreed through by the players before he puts through his next proposal.
And actually, you would start off nominate. So the one there needs to be some clause within that you would start with proposing Junius as the center.
Yeah, it says we'll vote down any eligible consoles and only vote for.
Yes.
Yeah, and that you start with the Rome consul would start with nominating Junius as the
Okay.
first
We'll
candidate to the
start
censorship.
with
Okay. Thank you for
voting down.
clarifying. Yes. Yep. Oh, sorry. I just accidentally.
Yeah, it's now changed to we'll start with only voting down the other eligible consoles and only vote for Emilius and will not play a tribune to deny the possibility for censor.
So, okay. Tiberius Cornelius, would you agree to this?
Yes.
Okay. Machiavellia Novella, would you agree to this?
Yes, as long as it includes the clause that Papirius will, that Aurelius and Papirius will not be prosecuted.
Okay. I guess now that Tiberius Cornelius wants the same for his faction, right?
For Fulvius, yes.
So, okay. Then we have to add this scribe.
It's added.
Go forward. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I would be in agreement with that. Thank you.
Okay. Then we will. Then I will nominate Fulvius and Papirius as consuls. Oh, Machiavellia, how do you vote on this issue?
Yay. 7 votes.
Tiberius Cornelius Jacobus, how do you vote on this issue?
7 yay.
Numerius Aurelius Ingeniarius, how do you vote on this issue?
Sorry, apologies. 7 votes against.
Busy
6
graffitiing.
votes, 6 votes against.
Okay. Quintus Octavius Gurgis, how do you vote on this issue?
Obviously the same as normal. I'll abstain.
Okay. Marcus Decimus Meridius, how do you vote on this issue?
I'll vote 10 against.
Whoa.
Then I vote yay.
Oh,
All right. We finally got some consoles, did we?
We did.
Very good. So I can see that
I wrote
the
my
old
prediction in the chat for
consoles
the votes.
have got their prior console markers, which is good. We can put those ineligible tokens back. So noting here that the decision does not need to be made yet between the Roman field consoles or the new elected consoles about who's going to be who yet. So that can be done over the course of the week. And then when you all come back next session, then you can announce who is the new Rome console and who's the new field console. But so we can take those markers and place them back on the dice for the time being, and then the consoles can announce who is who. So generally our custom in our games is we have the field console introduce the Rome console to the Senate, so that can be done. So we'll let them discuss amongst themselves for the week, and then whoever is the Rome console of that pair. So who's it between the orange and red faction? Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
All right, so
It is
between Tiberius Cornelius and Marca Wedia, the two of them, they will talk over the week, see who's who, and then whoever ends up being Rome console will be able to plan and plot their proposals ready for the next session, so that our follow-on Senate session will be much quicker. So there we go. Well done to you all. I'm pleased that we actually decided to finish at this point, because that was just the first tick box in the Senate, and that took us nearly half an hour in its own right. Imagine going through the rest of the Senate session. So it's good that we probably stopped there tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and senators, conscript fathers. So that will conclude our session for tonight. So for those that are watching at home, we're just going to take a quick break. We'll dismiss our senators in the background, and I'll come back and do my end of session summary that I like to do. So stick around. Doug Way, all my senators say Walete.
Walete.
Walete. And we are back for an end of session summary here at the end of our session. So we changed things up a little bit differently this evening. So we've just finished at the end of the election of the consoles, the new consoles for this turn 3. And the reason why we've decided to do that, and particularly for those who have been watching our sessions from previous years, we do that to give a week to our consoles so they have time to think about their proposals in good detail. And it takes some of that pressure off, that they don't have to come up with answers so quickly. So that's good. So they'll decide amongst themselves, that the two newly elected factions who have now owned the consulship, so Mark Guetti of the red faction and Tiberius Cornelius of the orange faction. And Poach Trout says, "What? No assassinations yet?" Yeah, no. It's how unusual for our games to have not seen any assassination attempts. Certainly, our normal key assassin in the past, Quintus Octavius, is perhaps a little bit gun shy, knowing he's only got the one senator left. And obviously, there's the chance that should he fail, then he could lose his last senator and subsequently bow out of the game. Now, you don't see that very often in the Republic of Rome. And hopefully we don't see that this time. So hopefully he plays conservatively and does not throw away his last senator. yeah, that wouldn't be a good outcome. So what did we see tonight? Yeah, we saw an interesting event come out, which was the Ally desserts, and we're not talking about cake or ice cream here. So that'll make any sort of future combat a little bit more difficult. Really, the challenge here is, so they've got the Illyrian Wars both out in play right now. Now, thankfully, one's still imminent. Really, their plan will be to get rid of that second Illyrian War, and that should be easy. It's only got a strength of 4. If they can knock that out of the way, then that first Illyrian War, when it eventually comes into play, it'll also be low strength. And then eventually, if they defeat it, they can get another province out of that as well. Yeah, provided they don't hit any disasters or standoffs, they should easily prosecute the second Illyrian War. Then they'll be in good stead for the first Illyrian War there. And if they, I don't who the console candidates that come out there. I mean, what's their military ratings? Probably not ideal in terms of military ratings, but they've got a large force in the active forces box anyway. So I'm not too concerned, I think. Outside of that, yeah, it's pretty quiet. We saw the revenue come through, a couple of new knighthoods, which is good for some of the senators, or some knights being added to the posse. For some, anything else interesting that's going on? I think if we look at our influence track, if I'm having a look here, so yeah, Marta Coetti is looking pretty strong influence-wise, as is Numerius Aurelius, I think. But I'd be very interesting to watch Marcus Decimus going forwards. I mean, he's sitting on a huge pot of gold there after, I think it was a failed persuasion attempt from an earlier time. So he's got a lot of money there. What will also be interesting to see is that there's quite a few senators in the forum now unaligned senators are waiting to be persuaded to join a faction. Flaminius Julius, who recently returned to us. I don't think Achilles is ever going to see the light of day in a faction. There's 10 talents sitting on his card, which makes him quite difficult to persuade now. And he's an elder, so he's less attractive as a senator. So unless there's somebody out there with a beefy amount of influence, which is not many out there, maybe Papirius from the Red faction, maybe Junius from Numerius Aurelius's faction, and potentially Furious, with their influences, they might be able to influence in Achilles and potentially, bank another 10 talents in that form. But when you've got Flaminius and Julius there, I mean, I wonder how much the most recent console elections influenced people's thinking when it comes to the turn order for the next forum phase. It's interesting. I don't know how many of the players are thinking that way, but the fact that we have this turn order that occurs, and we rotate in that clockwise fashion, that can sometimes influence the way that people vote for the consulorships, because it always starts right with the HRAO and moves around. So with the orange and red faction taking up those consulorships, one of them will get first dibs, and then it's going to go around to Marcus Decimus. So if the Rome consul ends up sitting with Marta Coetia, then those senators in the forum are going to be up for grabs for not only Marta Coetia's faction, but also for Marcus Decimus and potentially Numerius Aurelius. So we're going to see potentially the strength grow for Marcus Decimus and the strength grow for Numerius Aurelius. I think that'll be welcome. Numerius Aurelius is down a senator. He's at 2. So surely he'll take advantage of trying to gain one back. I don't know, maybe Quintus Octavius can barter with some of his fellow senators to try and get a free grab at one of the forums. Maybe they'll feel sorry for him and allow him a sort of an unchecked persuasion attempt on one of those senators. But he in his own right will find that difficult because he's Terentius, his only senator's only got 1 influence. So that would be a bit of a difficult grab for him anyway. So it'll be interesting to see the distribution of those free unaligned senators in the forum going forwards. Right, so I look forward to the next Senate session. Hopefully we'll see a much quicker Senate session going forwards with our consuls being prepared, open their scrolls and be able to read off their proposals. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to them achieving another victory in the Second Illyrian War. They've had a good run so far. Hopefully they can maintain that momentum. Well, that will now conclude the end of our 3rd session. I enjoyed that, a little bit shorter tonight, a little bit easier to digest. Thank you very much to Poach Trout in chat, as always, our author of the module here. and continues to provide us tips and clarifying the rules for us. It's always much appreciated. In fact, what I think I might do from here, Patriot, is you're going to be getting a VIP badge in the channel, so I'll apply that after the streams, and as a way to say thank you for your continued dedication and support to us on the Republic of Rome broadcast. So thank you to you, Patriot. Emoticons in chat. And of course, thank you to Unknown Star for his Prime sub as well, and his continued support and watching of the channel. So that's awesome. And he's got the first badge as one of the initial supporters of this channel early on. So that's good. I think he's up to 8 months now with his Prime sub. So that's brilliant. So thank you to everyone, and thank you, of course, if you're watching this in the future on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like. Provide your comments on how you thought the game went, or if you've got questions on the rules in the game. We're more than happy to talk you through those, or talk about what we see in the comments, either here in the chat on Twitch, but of course on YouTube. So it'll be great to have you, and great to continue that conversation going forwards. Well, at this stage, we're going to be playing next Monday. I'm looking forward to that, and until then, well, let's see you later.